as a result of Colonel McGee and other men like him, by the end of the war, by 1945, 1.2 million African-American men and women had served in World War II. That's what they did. Now you hear a lot about how one person can make a difference. This person made a difference.
I'm Charles Edward McGee, Air Force retired, and originally I was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1919. Tuskegee Airmen are black pilots, mechanics, and support people who, when our country declared war against Hitler, came forward and dispelled the biases and generalizations that because of the color of our skin, we couldn't support our country in a technical area. Our task was to keep the air clear of German fighters that were destroying many of our bombers. You know, we thought we had enough guns on the B-17s and B-24s to protect them. That wasn't so, and that's why the escort work began. We also destroyed a lot of Germany's war-making potential on the ground. Well, the challenge pretty much at the time was being accepted based on our ability and so on, rather than the fact that there were those that felt we didn't have the brain power or the fortitude to participate in a successful way. Fortunately, once given the opportunity, we were able to disprove that, because it's all about first of having the education and developing the talent, and found out that we could perform successfully. As I say, didn't realize that was happening when I got the opportunity to serve, but realized what it meant because the experience gave the Air Force the background to make a decision that affected all of our services and affected the country. And as I say, wasn't just glad to have served, but doubly glad that it turned out to be that important, even though that wasn't a goal for my reason of serving at the time. Certainly, once integration took place, it changed our forces to be diverse, and also provided beginning opportunities even for women to participate. That has expanded some over the years, and yet we still realize there's a shortage coming of commercial military pilots. And when we look back on it, we can realize that the declaration of war brought about special efforts to be prepared and build up forces. And we perhaps need something like that now to continuation. They said there'll be a shortage of airline pilots in a few years, and the need is still there in the military. The same question. I think, unfortunately, we're in a phase that I call the continuing rising prices is taking us out of the ability to meet a need. Yet we need to think about that and find the resources to be able to provide that we meet those needs. I think it's important because we talk about our citizens' participation. We're more diverse now than we ever were, and certainly that needs to be recognized, and we should be providing that opportunity for all, because as mentioned earlier, talent doesn't come in color or happenstance of birth. It's how we prepare and the attitude of folks, and we need to be a country marching forward together rather than separately. I think, although serving overseas, I had great assignments and opportunities, but I think when I became commander of Richards-Gebaur Air Base in the 1840th Air Base Wing, was certainly a culmination of experience. I've always liked to work with people, and that was certainly a big opportunity to here at home. I did have assignments and commands overseas on 3 occasions before I had that opportunity here at home. And looking back, it's certainly a key moment in the opportunities that I've given and the ability to serve. At the time, hadn't thought about it like saying, oh, we'll go down to Tuskegee and set the world on fire. It was just a matter of being able to participate, and certainly for me it was a joy to be able to be on the flying side of things. I enjoy doing that, and that's what I like to pass on as you find what your talents are. Hopefully it's something you enjoy doing, and I think it's every citizen's right and certainly a responsibility to serve the country in one way or another. I think going forward, that helps preserve the freedoms that we so much enjoy. Part of my experience was enjoying what I was doing, and I was fortunate enough to actively fly 27 of my 30 years. That doesn't happen very often, so I was doing something I was enjoying, but at the same time fulfilling needs like a stepping stone, if you will, along the way. I often talk about attitude about things. We can look at the positive and the good things. We need to understand the negative or things not so good, but we don't need to repeat them. We need to understand them, but be positive, and that's kind of the way I felt along the way. I enjoyed talking to students and getting their questions and answers, because I realized the value lessons that sustained us, if you will, through those periods that we don't want repeated are in many ways still important for their growing up and taking part in the future of our country. So it's always a pleasure to talk to students and hopefully get them to realize that they are the future of the country, and so their training, their attitudes are all very important. Don't let circumstances of folks telling you can't do something be an excuse for not achieving. We could have gone all about our head and said they call me names, they don't like me and don't want me, and not serve their country. But look at what that would have meant. That's not the American way.